Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about Zyon Grand, the next upcoming launch in Zyon area after Promenade Peak and River Green. So let's actually dive into it.
So a bit of disclaimer, so some information on Zyon Grand is get directly from developer, but some of it is not confirmed.
It's just from what we know.
Yeah, from what we know. Okay, so let's go. So Zyon Grand is a 3-tower building near Havoc MRT, nearest lah. This is the first site map we've gotten lah, but yet to be confirmed.
Yeah.
This just to show you there's a pool, there's also a tennis court lah. More information will be released up maybe in a later date. Where is the location? So Zyon Grand, right, as you say, this is Great Wall. Then from here, you will see Havelock. It's just beside Havoc MRT. So the nearest MRT is Havelock. So a bit of the unit mix, from what we see, right, the 1 and 2 bedroom mix about 40% versus the 3, 4 and 5, right, we mix up about more than about 58%. So one thing interesting that this developer actually built more for own stay.
Yeah, more for own stay. You see the number of 3-bedder they have, actually 41% is quite a good number, which means actually geared towards own stay.
Yeah.
In terms of the connectivity, of course, we are direct access to Havelock. We are very near Havelock MRT. So Havelock MRT, of course, you can go to all the Great World and Orchard and Marina Bay. Then if you want to go to the other lines, we just need to go one stop to Outram interchange. Then we can go to the green line, we can go to the purple line. So actually we are very, very well connected.
Actually, anyone who knows Zyon River Valley, right, is actually accessible to everywhere.
Yeah, amenities actually all there also have. So the developers is a CDL, which is quite a big developer, as well as Mitsui Furusan. And then these are some of the projects that they have done, which is actually quite big projects.
I think CDL in Singapore, I think everyone knows. It's a very reputable developer. So for the landscape, right, architect, right, it will be done by EcoPlan Asia. So some of the prominent projects will be Park Esta, I think J-Scape, all are very beautiful landscaping project. So for the architect that designed the building, right, be Nikken Seke. So they are quite well known in Japan. They are involved in a few prominent buildings. Later we'll touch a bit on it. So there are some concern people mention when it comes to Zyon Grand. Maybe we'll touch on that because number one now the question will be, is there an oversupply in Zyon? Because we see, right, from all the units added together plus the future launches, right, add up to about 2,700 units. So Dylan, if you are a buyer today, I think you have this concern also, right?
Yeah, confirm. I see 2,700. I would definitely feel there's going to be an oversupply. So my question is, next time if I want to sell, will I be able to have a lot of demand or not?
Yeah, so because there will be a lot of competition.
Correct.
So because when competition, right, usually it benefits buyers. When it turns to become a seller, right, will this become a disadvantage to us?
Correct.
So this is one of concern. So one thing we must understand the location. So where is Zyon Grand? Zyon Grand is actually at this area. So we learn in this street directory map, right? What is yellow color road?
Main road.
Main road, right? So actually main road means heavy usage.
Yes.
So heavy usage means people who are around the area, like people who drive or people who stay near there, will definitely drive past or walk past Zyon Grand. And one thing about Zyon Grand, right, if everyone keeps seeing this building, right, that is so nice, right, so iconic, right, will it create more interest?
Yes, I think there'll be a lot of awareness.
Awareness, right? Awareness, then when it comes to viewing, right, when the resale, right, sometimes all these things are added up to the attributes of why I want to choose this as my next home. So how does this come out to look like for the perspective? Yesterday just have a release, right? Actually, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's quite big. You can see the light in the top. There's a light one. So actually very hard to miss.
Yeah.
Even at night, you can see the light shining and all that.
So pretty iconic, and plus all the traffic, all the heights, right? And plus when you start to view the house during resale, right? And people start to walk to other development, right? I think Zyon Grand might also be one of the top choices when I want to consider. So a bit of the architect who designed the tower, right, will be the Nikken Seke. So they are involved in the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel and also the new Fantasy Spring in the Tokyo Disney Sea. So definitely
the design is going to be very nice.
Correct. So then we talk about
as a buyer,
we scared that later will be oversupply. So but developer also same thing.
Correct.
The developer competition, now we are the third one, there will be the fourth and the fifth. So as a developer, we ask ourselves, will we be more price sensitive?
Definitely with all the competition, right, as a developer, I see that previously got a few launches already. Yeah, the upcoming there's another 2 more launches, right? I'm quite stuck in between. So I definitely will have concern, I cannot price it too high because later what if people say, never mind, we wait for the next one. Then maybe my sales will not perform so well.
And also, I think when it comes to competition, I tell you, right, there is advantage. So for the buyer, so today, if you miss Promenade Peak, you miss River Green, I think Zyon Green is something that you should look at. But of course, we must also study a bit of the pricing. Maybe later we will go through a bit. So with these attributes like iconic design, good layout, which we can touch later.
architect.
The main thing is the price sensitive of developer, right? If buyers buy at a very good price, right, then of course when you try to sell, right, I think there will be good possibility that Zyon Grand will be one of the top choice when it comes to choosing the next house over there.
So of course we also know that Zyon Grand is going to have a service apartment lah. So Matthew, I want to ask you, service apartment is it a good or bad thing?
Actually, if you ask me, right, why this concern was bring up by people who are looking at this, right, it's because of the attribute of a service apartment. Because they think that this actually affects the whole development. The facility, is it shared? Because right now CDL has not confirmed whether it's shared as we're recording this video lah. We must understand what is service apartment for lah. So we'll dive through a bit lah. So today ask you for rental, right, there are three types: short term, mid term, and long term lah. We can see from here, short term, actually people who stay for holiday, right, usually we will go for hotel. Then from there, right, we will move on to service apartment. But what is service apartment for? Usually it's for those expats. Maybe they are coming here for training, for like a 1 month thing, 1 year, and also maybe the company gonna send them there to, like for example, Dylan, I want you to stay in Singapore for a long term. But I don't know whether you are okay or not. Maybe you want to go there and try first. I can send you for 3 months.
Okay.
So in Singapore, if you want to rent long term, right, it's condo and HDB mah. So private is 3 months lah. Then HDB is 6 months. But there is one thing. If you are landlord, I want to rent 3 months. Private you think usually
I will put my rental higher lah.
Rental higher, number one Number two you want or not? Short term.
I want long term.
One long term. So landlord all want long term. I also want long term. If not, I'm a landlord, right? I also want 2 years. Because my project TOP, right, my rental is 3 months, 3 months, 6 months. Wow, I tell you, I must want to find tenant already. So it's a stress for the landlord. So usually landlord will want a long term. That's why service apartment comes into lah. But minimum 7 days. Okay. So what is the scenario? Today we just use a profile, right? Today expect you are going to be here 3 to 6 months. So for one bedder, right, let's just say the rental is about 7k a month. So 3 months about 21,000 lah. So Dylan, I ask you, if the expect stay in Zyon Grand for 3 months, then I feel that not bad lah. I think I can stay in Singapore to continue. I think the environment is not bad. So I want to convert to long term. So long term, if I convert to long term, right, if there's a cheaper alternative in terms of rental, why make a switch?
Definitely
Definitely,
right?
right?
Save money, why not?
Correct. So this might be a scenario. Imagine they decide to stay 2 years. They might try to change for a cheaper alternative lah. Like for example, for Zyon Grand, there are about 373 units of service apartment, right? So I don't say like maybe 10% or maybe 10 or 20 minutes switch to long term. Because right now 7k is considered a high side for service. Because service apartment they provide Wi-Fi, sometimes Wi-Fi, all these things all provided. So it's like that's why the price is higher. So if you see a rental that is maybe 5,000 for 1 bedroom, right? Maybe I might just want to switch because I'm so used to Zyon Grand. Then if Zyon Grand got a cheaper alternative, maybe that's my first choice.
I will still stick with Zyon Grand.
I don't want to like move to another location to start the whole thing over again. Correct or not? So maybe 10 or 20. So does it help in the rentability of the development?
I think will create more demand, more demand in terms of the cost.
And also service apartment is actually managed by the developer. So developer will always bring in fresh tenant.
Which will help those that are looking to rent out, especially in the same development.
Correct. So they bring in fresh tenant for the service apartment. Then if the service apartment, the tenant want to switch to long term, then also we bring in more traction to your own rental unit for a 1 bedroom. This is something that I see it might happen. Okay. But some problem with Zyon, not so everything is good I mean, number one is like I mentioned is the shared facility with the service apartment. They are not confirmed yet. Another thing is why only one developer bid for this land?
Because for this land, right, I think they must actually build in a service apartment. So for developer to actually build in a service apartment, usually they have the bigger developer. Why? Because when you build a service apartment, you actually have a lot of money will be stuck inside the service apartment. Because you have to manage this service apartment and your money in a way
it's trapped because service apartment cannot sell.
Cannot sell. So you only can rent until you collect back.
It's only cash flow.
Cash flow. A bigger developer will be able to accept this. That's why only one bid.
One bid. So what does this create a problem with Zyon? Is what we see because developer using their own cash to build the service apartment then this money is actually trapped. Because they take loan, everything is trapped in this service apartment. Then they only can come back by rental. They might put some of the cost to the selling price. So technically Zyon Grand PSF or the quantum might be slightly higher. This one we don't know, but this is a possibility.
Right.
Correct. So where is Zyon Grand positioned? Because we know that everyone will compare with River Green, Promenade Peak. So how do we position Zyon Grand? What we see because like just like we mentioned, right, you might have a slightly higher average PSF because the service apartment they load inside the cost into the selling price so that they can get back some. But PP is the lowest starting PSF due to the size. because they are bigger. River Green is lower starting quantum because they are smaller. So where is Zyon Grand? We are slightly higher PSF, but maybe slightly lower quantum than RG. Why do we say? Later we will share with you, because one thing we know that is the floor difference. For RG, right, the highest is 36 floor. Zyon Grand is 62 floor.
So there's a bigger spread.
Correct. Yeah. We will show you how does this spread work to the advantage of the buyers.
Okay, so yeah, just now we mentioned spread, right? So I want to ask you on the team, actually, how this 62 floor spread will benefit the buyer?
Okay, so very simple. Today, we always know, we have this calculation to find the lowest starting floor. For example, today, River Green, right? Of course, their starting floor was also 2007 during the launch. But based on what the information today, we think that the top floor of River Green, right, will start at 3006. So we will use this 0.5 to times 36 floor. So you'll get about 0.8 thing, right? So based on this, for the top floor unit, for PSF will be about 3006. So it costs about 118%. For the top floor.
Of the lowest floor.
Yeah, so by right, River Green, right, the first floor or second floor should be about 3,000 per square foot. But of course, they start with 2007 for starting from. But if you notice and you study the transaction of people sell, is the developer actually load a lot per level, per floor level. That's why right behind you can see 3005, 3004 coming out already. So these are things that you must know when you buy a booking day, which we will share about the 5 steps things. So we use the same thing to do on Zyon Grand. It's 62 floor. But we also think that 62 floor maybe 306 or so per square foot. So you do the same formula. Your starting will be about 2748 per square foot. So you see the starting just because of the floor level because there's more thing to spread more spread. The lower floor actually can go as low as 2007. But of course this is just a calculation. But we don't know how the developer going to price it, because different developer work differently. They got different strategy on the per floor load level. Okay, but you can see 36 and 62 floor the starting from can be like a 300 per square foot difference. So how does this 62 floor spread benefit you for Zyon? You can notice one thing you will notice, one advantage, right? You can see the floor for River Green is 2 to 36 or 2 bed. PP is 2 to 42 floor, but Zyon Grand has 2 to 62 floor. So technically, let's just say maybe the top floor not 3,006, maybe 3,005. Then the spread will be more attractive. You get what I say? So, but this is just an assumption.
More room.
So you have more opportunity in terms of choice or of course in terms of quantum. So a bit of compare. So 2 bed 1 bar, River Green is 527. PP don't have. Then you see Zyon Grand is slightly above 538. But 2 bed 2 bar you see 603. Then for PP it's all bigger than Zyon Grand. So Zyon Grand is in the middle. So that's why I say actually we are stuck in the middle in between PP and River Green. Then for 2+ study, you can see higher PSF for River Green, but lower PSF as compared to PP. So why are we trying to share with you this information is today I can see from this overall, right, Zyon Grand is in between. But now we're going to show you how this 62 spread will benefit you. If we use a 3-bedroom for example, we compare with River Green and the Zyon Grand because this is the smaller size. Because PP is bigger. Later we will use the bigger one compared with the bigger one for the PP and Zyon Grand. Okay, so you see there's 818, 861, 786, 872 and 883. So River Green because highest floor 36 they are level 10 872 square feet already transacted at 2.62 already. So today if we are looking at 2.62 million, right, what can we get in Zyon Grand? If we use the 861, we do a spread, we start from the 2748, right? You can see actually based on this spread we can go almost 20 floor. 10 floor versus 20 floor. Size also comparable. So you can see from here, right, the advantage of a bigger spread. Like from a 10 floor now with the same quantum, you can go until 20 floor. Provided the developer price in this manner. So how do we come up with this price? Is that we just do a per floor jump of 0.5%. But of course, this is just standardized. You know, if you study those new lots already transacted, right? You can see very funny one. Some you can see 7K, 7K, 7K maybe. Then after a while, we got 115K come inside. Or maybe 7K, 20K inside. So you don't know where they put the loading.
I think we need to use the 5-step process.
Correct. You need to find out which one is the part that is loaded, the premium. Because it's very hard to determine how the developer going to price. So that's why we use this 0.5% as a gauge to synchronize.
Because we cannot tell where they will load in the price, so we just do all the way.
Yeah, correct. So this is a way that we do up to 3,006 per square foot. Now the bigger one, for the PP, right, 42 floor, right, transacted at 3.342. So for this one, a bit special. Because PP, the hard floor also quite high lah. And the starting from the cheapest unit, the per square foot also about 2007 plus. From the formula, right, we follow PP formula. Every level, right, for the big unit, right, they add 10 PSF. Then when we study properly, some got 11 PSF, some got 9 PSF. But I just standardized 10 PSF. So you can see 3.342, right, 42 floor, right, almost similar for Zyon Grand. So what does this mean for people who are looking at this size is today you have to see at the launch how the developer price. For example, if you can get something similar price at PP, it means you are actually quite safe because it's already transacted. But if you find something below PP, then it's even safer. So we don't know how the developer will load, but this is just a gauge. If the developer will load higher, then maybe you must think whether you want to pay a bit of the premium lah.
But see where the loading is at.
Correct. So for the 4-bedroom, right, later when we analyze the layout, right, we'll touch a bit on how this spread gonna help you. We just talk about this size. For RG, this 4-bedroom is 980. Actually, it's not comparable because that one looks like a 3-bus study in a way. If you have seen the SHOWFLAT. So we only have this PP to compare. PP 1421 and the 1421 and 1518 is the same series. The luxury is 1572 and Zyon Grand 1615. That's a comparable. I see that from the layout.
Okay, so now we'll look into the 1-bedroom analysis. Of course, for 1-bedroom or even 2-bedroom, right, usually we will look at the rental yield because most of the buyers that are going to buy 1-bedder or 2-bedder, I mean, a bulk of them will be investors. So we will look at the rental. Okay, so if we look at the nearby 1-bedroom rental, for example, if I will take Orwell Hill and River, okay, I will say the average is about 5,000 based on these two developments. So this is just a rough gauge, but of course, if we look at the recent one that I just went to pull up, it sounds about average 4,000 to 5,000. So let's say if today, right, you are able to get a rental of 5,000, how much is our rental yield? So of course, this formula is to calculate rental yield. We will actually get about 4.2%. So in terms of 1-bedder getting a 4.2%, I mean, in my opinion, 4.2 is actually not bad.
And this one actually put higher in terms of per square foot, 3,000. So because we don't have any starting from, so
we just say example at average of 3,000.
Correct. So if you rent out at 5,000, you still get a 4.2,
which is quite decent.
Anything above 4, I think, is still decent.
But again, of course, your rental yield is very much dependent on how much you buy at. If you buy a more expensive, then your rental yield will drop.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, if we look at the layout, right, 1+ study, 474, I would say it comes to a 1+ study, this study area. Okay, other than that, everything is all similar to a normal 1-bedroom layout. The only key thing is that you realize there's actually no balcony here. So no balcony, I mean, it's quite subjective. Some people don't want balcony. For me, if you are living in such an iconic building, I personally prefer to have a balcony.
Definitely, So this one technically become like a studio, no balcony. I mean, technically, like a studio, but it's 1+ study with a study area.
Yeah, so I think not having a balcony is not a plus point. Then we will go into the 2-bedroom analysis. Okay, 2-bedroom also, I would say that a lot of them are maybe also buying in terms of investment. So we also want to look at the rental in the area. So if we look at the nearby 2-bedroom rental, there's about 5,000 to 6,000. There's also 6,000 to 8,000. So average is about maybe 7,000. Yeah. So if we look again, I compare Orwell Hill and River, you see the difference. Because this one average is 5,000, but for River, the average is about 7,000.
Okay, I think one of the key difference, people ask me, Orwell, the rental a bit low. I totally agree it's a bit low, but why is it happening? Because I feel that because Orwell just TOP, everyone is competing for tenant.
Yeah.
So, and they are under the TOP stage, right? When they are at the TOP stage, actually the installment is lesser. So technically, landlord might be able to accept a bit of the lower market rate just to rent out first. Then after 1 year, then when the whole market stabilize, right, they will increase the rent. Even how I advise my client when I do a rental for TOP project, I also do this way. I will just say be the first to rent out first because it's no point you keep vacant, correct? Because 1 month vacant, no matter you increase 200, 300, you will lose.
Yeah, because every month is about you're losing the entire rental.
Yeah, if you divide 12, doesn't make sense already.
Correct.
So just rent out first. So that's why you might see that why Orwell the rental is lesser. Because this is some of the concern that people brought up when I met them, when I talked to them about River Valley at that time.
So River, of course, average 7,000, but just bear in mind, of course, it's bigger.
Yeah.
So this one, just to let you all know.
Correct.
Okay. So again, we need to do the so-called rental yield. Again, I use an average of 3,000 PSF. Of course, I use the 721 square feet one. Imagine we get 7,000. Our rental yield is about 3.8. So today, 3.8, I would say again for 2-bedder, decent. not really that good, but not that bad also.
Yeah, so 3.8% you must ask yourself, because I think investors, they have their own calculation, they have their own thoughts
Because
of
this one
rental
we
yield.
haven't done the cost, we haven't minus off the cost yet lah.
Yeah, because they got their own calculation, they have the own rental yield they want to achieve. So in terms of investment, there's a 1 and 2 bedroom, right? Sometimes the selection of unit will be different, the criteria is different. Because if I buy for own stay, right, we will suggest you buy something that is easier for people to buy next time for own stay. Like the emotional value, emotional attributes will be there. But if you're buying based on 1 bedroom for investment, for rental, right, sometimes we will ask people, ask our client to buy something like lower floor. Because the quarter is lower. So when you rent out, right, if the yield might be higher, more attractive, then maybe the investors, right, will want to buy your unit also.
Yeah.
Because you are carrying a higher rental yield.
Correct. So key thing for rental yield is try to get as lower quantum as possible.
Correct.
So again, we can actually analyze the 2-bedroom layout. Okay, this 2-bedroom is actually only about 538 square feet. So when we enter here, right, the kitchen is at the side. Key thing again, you realize there is no balcony.
This is a 2-bed, 1-bath compact, not a 2-bed, 2-bath. So maybe that's why maybe this one is more investment centric. Because one thing I think the developer do very smart, right? They take away the balcony, then the quantum also smaller. Then also when the quantum smaller, then you get more livable space, right? Maybe when tenant come in, right, they feel better.
Yeah.
Because if you put in a balcony, like 538, maybe even you harmonize the livable space will be smaller. So one thing I think what the developer did, right, is to give you more livable space.
Yeah, of course for 538, the key thing also, I think they also want to make it easier to digest. So example, if you are looking for maybe not so high quantum, some investors will actually look at this.
Alright.
Of course, we look at the normal 2-bedroom, which is actually the 646. It's a 2-bedroom premium. So premium means what? Actually just means got 2 bath. Yeah, 2 bath. So this is a 2-bed, 2 bath. But of course, this one now they comes with a balcony. Other than that, the kitchen is actually just one row over here.
Pretty standard layout.
Yeah,
pretty standard layout.
Yeah, it's a very standard layout. Yeah. So the next one, right, we actually going to talk about is the 2-bedroom premium plus a study. So actually this one we just add in a study. It's 721 square feet. Of course, the key thing definitely is the study because you add in a study. Then of course the kitchen wise is a L shape here, which is actually tucked in one corner. It's something quite good for people that are maybe looking for more towards home stay. Yeah. So for this, of course, again, whenever we look at 721 plus study and all these things, right, the key thing we always ask our client is that, how much are you ready to pay for this study? Which on the actual day itself, we have a process where we can actually find out what is the key price difference between the different unit types.
Because definitely for investment, right, they want to go as cheap, as low as possible. For investment, as low as possible. So, but sometimes the 2-bed, the small one has went up to too high, the floor too high level. So what's the alternative? Maybe the 2 plus study, right, the low floor, right, the price same.
Yeah, almost same or like a bit.
Then for me, I will just get a low floor 2 plus study because no question asked one. Because in the end of the day, I will get a bigger floor plate. Bigger floor plate, bigger livable place, or I can even get higher rental.
Because I got bigger, but you got one study.
I got a study. This study quite flexible. You want to become a storeroom, you want to become workroom, all can be done.
Yeah, and I mean based on this floor plan, I feel the study quite big. I mean quite good size. Then now we will actually go into the 3-bedroom analysis. So our analysis for 3-bedroom, we are going to look more towards the exit strategy because a lot of people probably they're buying for own stay. Okay, so if they buy for own stay, of course the number one question in their head, I buy 3-bedder. Example, if I get something in Zyon Grand at 2.4, right? Next time, who's going to buy for me? If I want to sell, example, at 2.7, where are the buyers going to come from? This is a number one question that a lot of our clients actually ask us.
Definitely, yeah. Who will buy from me?
Always ask. It's like, today I buy 2.4, but next time I want to sell, got people buy from me or not?
Now I already buy high. Because now everyone will feel high.
Feel high, but next time I got to sell even higher. If not, how I make?
Yeah,
so this is the number one question that we're going to actually address. So of course this thing is what we call the affordability gap. What do I mean by that? Okay, today, right, if we look in terms of HDB upgraders, in the future, right, if we're going to sell to HDB upgraders, right, what is the prices that these HDB are going for? If we look at Tiong Bahru area, which is a very hot area, where there's a lot of $1 million HDB, for example, Boon Tiong Road, one of the very popular area, the 5-room there already average is about 1.4 million. Of course, the one that went to newspaper is the 1.58 one. That's the highest. But of course, we don't take the highest. We just take the average. It's about 1.4. So what is this affordability gap? Example, in terms of Tiong Bahru 5-room, let's say you're an owner there, then you want to sell, you sell at 1.4, which is the average there. By the time you want to actually sell and go into Zyon, example, you got a 500k outstanding loan, which means that's a very simple calculation. 1.4 million minus 500 is about, you got a 900k proceeds. So the question is, this 900k proceeds, is it enough to do as a down payment for a Zyon Grand which at that time when the owners want to sell at 2.7, imagine they bought at 2.4, right? They want to sell at 2.7, and the buyers actually afford the down payment or not. So based on 2.7, at a 818 square feet, down payment is about close to 800,000.
So I think one of the question that popped in my mind while Dylan is talking, right, is like, hey, the 500k you anyhow put one. But I tell you, we have met owners there, fully paid one. At the point, the people who bought at this BTO, actually, they bought quite low. It's not the trend that, it's not the $1 million HDB yet. Right. It's like, you know, like last time Dawson, our first owner, they only bought like 400 plus.
Yeah.
400 plus. And now Dawson is 4-room flat. It's about 1 mil already.
Close to 8 to 900.
Yeah, 8 to 900, 1 mil already.
Yeah.
So very different profile. So why we put 500k outstanding is also because
it's possible.
Yeah, when Zyon Grand built, right, it's another 4 more years. So technically, maybe the loan will even got lesser loan.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, this is just a scenario.
Scenario that there is people that can buy one.
Correct.
And still got reserve fund.
Yeah.
Because today when we plan for our clients, right, we don't usually ask our client to all in one when we sell the house.
Yes.
Because I feel that like that very stressed.
Correct.
I will always want to keep some reserve so that for rainy days, for unexpected things happen, so that the house can still sustain a while before we can find any solution. Because we don't want like end to end. Every month you end to end, you have to top up cash.
Of course, for this scenario, we never even talk about the loan because the loan is, I would say, case by case.
Correct.
It depends on your income and all that. So that one's a separate thing. But based on just down payment itself, with all this scenario, I would say that actually people can actually afford.
Correct.
Now we look into the floor plan. We look at the 818. Actually, the 818, I would say again, the size is quite normal. Only thing, maybe the kitchen-wise, it might not be the most preferred because it's just one row over here. Of course, if I want to buy a 3-bedder, I would prefer a more squarish kitchen that's stuck on one side.
So why we have this 181? I feel that the developer create an opportunity, right, for upgraders that really wants to come into River Valley. Because last time, to some people or to me, ask me to come to the River Valley to see. First thing I can't afford. Like, wow, that expensive. But right now, because of harmonization, all this, and plus all the prices that went up, right, for HDB, for private, right, actually now there's a possibility that people can come into River Valley. Right? I mean, River Valley, right, Zyon, right. Although it's like, they call it atas, but there is a community of amenities also.
Yes, there's amenities.
There's school. It's not like Orchard. Wow, shopping center, Ion, all this. Very different. This one is really livable, like livable environment.
Yes. So actually, by 818, I would say, of course, still meet the quantum people can actually digest.
Yeah, correct.
Then of course, we can look at the 3-bedroom deluxe. Again, there's this foyer space. Right, so foyer space, one thing some people feel is wasted, but again, you have privacy here, so it depends on how you look at it. Other than that, the kitchen wise, there's this so-called glass over here, so actually light can come in from this direction. There's also another window here. So this enclosed kitchen, I think not bad because they'll be quite bright. And you can also, when you come in, you can see the whole view over here. Other than that, this whole part, I would say very typical.
Typical standard 3-bedroom. Nothing wow, but main thing what you need is have, because like for all the toilet, they got windows, everything. For the Zyon 818, it's more like compact size. Like, you know, like our 3-bedroom compact in some of older new launch development, there's some no harmonization. Then like 872, then sometimes they don't have windows all these things.
Yes.
This one is that you have everything in place.
So then again, now we look at the 3-bedroom premium plus study, which is about worth 1,000 square feet. Again, same thing, but the study is over here. This one, some people might feel that, hey, why need a study here? If me, I will feel that actually better to have a bigger living room area. So this study, actually, if you want, you can take out. Then you got a bigger living area, which is quite good. You know, when you entertain guests and everything, you got a bigger space.
Optional. Like you give you a flexibility to create a bigger living space.
Unless you really need a study, then okay.
Correct. And one thing you can see, this is actually a dumbbell. They put one of the bedroom to the other side.
The other side. So there's a bit lesser corridor walkway.
Correct.
Other than that, the kitchen I think quite good. Got window here. The bathroom got window, which is very good for own stay. Then now we will look at the 3-bedroom plus study, 10761. This one I think also quite similar. Actually, the difference between 1076 and the 1055 is only about 21 square feet. So from just looking at this, 21 square feet, honestly, I do not know exactly where.
Because the specs is not the
measurement not out.
We try to find, but I don't know whether is it this area bigger, master room bigger, all these things. We're not so sure. But main thing I say that today, if the whole one look is very similar, I'll go for the smaller one because I don't know where I'm paying for the 20.
Yeah, honestly, in real life, very hard to feel. Very hard to feel like, you know, where's the space or that? Maybe slightly somewhere, you know, or they spread it out across.
In the end, because if I cannot feel it, when I come to next time I want to sell my house, right? Then the person will compare. Like, no diff, then after that, why I want to pay more for something I don't feel it?
Correct.
But once there is more information out there, we can do a deeper analysis of it.
In terms of dimensions.
Correct, yeah.
So that's in terms of the 3-bedroom plus study lah. So now we will actually go into the 4-bedroom analysis. So 4-bedroom again, I would say most for own stay lah. But that this time they are probably looking at luxury.
Correct, because you know that in Promenade Peak, right, it's the higher floor, the bigger floor they sell first, not the lower floor. It's
and they purposely put at the 44th floor and above.
And they sell first, and it's not like 1 or 2 units, it's a lot of units sold. So that's why the buyer profile at this area are very different. So that's why for me, the 4 and 5 bedroom, actually no need to analyze so much.
Correct.
It's as long as the price or the layout makes sense to the buyer, the buyer just buy.
Yeah, I mean for the developer point of view, they are very clear on their target audience, which is why they actually put it on the higher floors for PP. So we know that these are the group of buyers that they're targeting.
So now Dylan will explain like how this 62 floor spread benefit you, because it's a very good example. Just now when I say, right, the 3-bedroom for PP big one and the Zyon Grand actually starting should be around the same. It's just that maybe Zyon Grand may be slightly higher in terms of per square foot. So there's nothing much to compare. Only on the booking day itself, right? If you want to go in to buy, right? Maybe like left 32 floor, maybe you check around PP, the 32 floor is how much. If you can get something lower or maybe around the same, then I think it's good enough. But for the 4-bedroom, it will be different. You can see from here.
Yeah, so 4-bedroom, actually we just look at Promenade Peak, the 4-bedroom transacted. Actually the lowest is 3,250. This is the lowest at 4.6. So why the lowest is still, 3.2 is still quite high in a sense, because this is level 44 So why? Because their lowest is level 44.
And the cheapest already.
And the cheapest already, the cheapest 44 You cannot be a higher floor sell cheaper than 44
Correct.
So this is the cheapest for Promenade Peak.
Okay.
But if you use this example, in terms of the spread, like what you shared earlier, right? How does it affect Zyon Grand? Example, if Zyon Grand based on just now the formula, right? If the second floor start from 2,748, right? If we use the square feet, we multiply by the PSF, which means the second floor maybe can be about 3.9 million. So 3.9 means what? At the second floor, your gap compared to PP 44th floor is about 700k gap.
Yes.
Which means actually today, if you're looking to get a 4-bedder, but your quantum that you can actually go for is lower than PP, right? Actually, you still have an opportunity here in Zyon Grand.
Because for PP, right, the starting entry 4.6
million. Nothing to say already.
So anything is upwards already. Because of this higher spread, right, now we at the second floor at 700 get, right? Then if you really want lights really, 3.9 million, and also from 4.6 to 3.9, this gap, I think it's something that you can consider, and you can digest. So the upgrading become more manageable.
Yes.
Because some people say, wow, I need a 4-bedder. Then after I see the price 4.6 million, I cannot.
It's totally out. Let's say your budget cannot.
So now we got more opportunity over here.
Yes. That's the key thing.
The key thing for the 4-bedroom.
So now, we're actually going to look at the layout for the 4-bedroom premium. I would say again quite typical. Key thing you take note this area is this format for the 1421. If we compare to the bigger one, which is the 4-bedroom Supreme, this is another layout for this part.
What we see maybe is the walk-in wardrobe a bit different from here, but of course again the spec is not up, so we don't know where is the size different from the 100 square feet. So when the more info is out, if you need, we are looking for a 4-bedder in the area, you can always contact us once we have our details.
Once we got the info, we can
send it to you. So for the 4-bedroom Supreme study, right, because there's no much thing to talk about already, because right now it's all the trophy already.
So this one they add in a study. Of course the study is over here
and this one starts from 44th floor.
This is the 44th floor one.
This is compared to all the PP 44 floor. The other two, right, will start from the second floor.
Second floor here.
So these two layout is something that
quantum that maybe people can consider.
Correct.
Now we go into the 5-bedroom for Zyon Grand. So 5-bedroom for PP, right, the only 5-bedroom transacted was at 6.5 million. But in terms of square feet, it's about 1,008. So what is Zyon Grand's 5-bedder? Zyon Grand 5-bedder is also similar. 1,008, but a bit smaller. So for again 5-bedroom, I don't talk so much because at the end of the day, this one the profile buying, right, they're really looking for feel, they're looking for luxury.
Because it's built for livability. You see the layout, the landscaping,
all
living room,
all functional, very functional.
Nothing to really talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Honestly, if you're looking for a 5-bedder, right, then I would say, but again, they know the so-called profile they're looking at. That's why they put at 44 floor and above, because people definitely want the view, they want luxury.
Yeah, then the next two layout will be the penthouses lah. This one is the top of the top, the 62 level one. So I think only 2 units.
Only 2 units. So here is 162, and this one is another 162 lah. 2 units for the penthouse. So these buyers are of course the ultra rich.
The ultra lux lah.
Ultra lux lah.
You see master room still got a small living room. I think this master room like
2-bed living room.
So we have come to the end of the Zyon Grand analysis. In terms of information, we don't have the starting from yet. A lot of things that are not confirmed yet, but some of the information we get, right, I think it's good enough to let you know a bit of the project information already. Like the unit mix, how is the developer thinking, like this one is more on their own stay. In terms of layout, they built like more livable for people to come into River Valley.
Everything is based on what we estimate lah. So at the end of the day, right, we still need to know the actual pricing. You know, and let's say if you're really looking and you are wondering, hey, what one day if I get the actual pricing, right, how am I going to actually choose the best? This one we actually have a 5-step process which we do for every of our development and for all our clients. If you want to know more, feel free to reach out to us. I'm Dylan.
I'm Matthew. See you soon.